In this episode, we'll discuss whether English learners should pick an accent when they're at an intermediate level. And with a short story, you will learn grammar in context, without memorizing any boring rules. Hi, I'm Georgiana. Thanks for joining me for another episode of the podcast. My mission is to help you improve your English fluency. If you want to help me, share the podcast with your friends and family. That would mean a lot. Thanks. On my website, you can get the 5 secrets to speak English and also my premium courses. Before we start, get the transcript at speakenglishpodcast.com/podcast. It's completely free. Okay, let's start. When choosing between learning American or British English, it's crucial to think about your goals and situation. Here are a few reasons why you might prefer one accent over the other. I'll start by sharing my experience. As you may know, I'm also a language learner like you, and I've been learning languages for many years. I've chosen to learn languages by listening to a lot of content. This method has helped me become fluent in several languages, including Spanish. When I began learning Spanish many years ago, I spent much time watching TV shows from South America. This helped me learn new words and understand the language better. Later, I started listening to content from Spain. At first, I noticed the accent was different, but I quickly got used to it because I already had a good foundation. That's when I realized that listening daily is crucial when learning a language. I listened to many hours of Spanish content before I could speak fluently. So don't worry too much about which accent to choose at this stage. Right now, your main focus should be on listening. Listen to content that is easy to understand, and as much as you can. Also, if you're not completely fluent, you should consume content designed for English learners. When I record my podcast episodes, I do my best to speak as clearly as possible to help you understand me better. However, if you want to choose an accent, let's briefly discuss why you might select an American or British accent. Deciding between American and British English depends on what you prefer and what works best for your needs. American English is understood by many around the world thanks to American media, making it a practical choice for global communication. Plus, its pronunciation is often considered easier for beginners. On the other hand, British English is valuable if you plan to live or work in the UK or in countries historically influenced by British English. It's also useful for academic purposes, as many prestigious universities are in the UK. Think about your mother tongue too. How we speak our first language can make learning some English accents easier. For example, if the sounds in American English are similar to those in your language, they might be easier for you to learn. Or you might find British English sounds easier. listen to different English accents. This will help you determine which one is more similar to how you talk. It's like trying on different shoes to see which ones fit best. But no matter which accent you prefer, focusing on understanding is essential. Choose podcasts or courses you can easily understand, similar to what I did when learning Spanish. Spend a lot of time listening and engaging with this material to improve your English skills. What really matters is your ability to understand and communicate effectively in English. Great! Let's continue with a point of view lesson. I will tell the same story twice, so make sure to focus on the changes. You can find these techniques fully implemented in my premium courses at speakenglishpodcast.com/courses. Okay, let's start. Everybody knew Alejandro for his amazing ability to imitate American accents, so he became a local celebrity. Although he was not from the United States, he could perfectly imitate accents from different states, from the slow drawl of the South to the distinctive Boston tone. His talent was so impressive that he was invited to a famous television program. In an interview on TV, Alejandro left the audience and the host speechless with his skill. He perfectly imitated everyone, from Californian to Texan. The audience applauded and laughed at each new impression. But in the middle of the show, something unexpected happened. A girl from the audience, invited to ask a question, approached the microphone and said to Alejandro with a smile, "How are you?" Alejandro was petrified. His smile faded, and an awkward silence filled the studio. He had no idea how to respond. Despite his talent for accents, Alejandro didn't speak English at all. The situation went viral. Headlines read, "The accent imitator who didn't know English." Far from being discouraged, Alejandro took this as a sign to improve. He started using Georgiana's English courses. And over time, he not only perfected his accent, but also learned the language. Months later, Alejandro came back to the show, and the girl asked him again, "How are you?" He replied this time with a confident smile and fluent English. "I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking. How are you?" Great. Let's listen to the same story in the present tense, from Alejandro's viewpoint. Hi, I'm Alejandro. I'm known in my hometown for my amazing ability to imitate American accents. I have become a local celebrity because of it. Even though I'm not from the United States, I can perfectly imitate accents from different states. From the slow drawl of the South to the distinctive Boston tone. My talent is so impressive that I've been invited to a famous television program. In an interview on TV, I leave the audience and the host speechless with my skill. I perfectly imitate everyone, from a Californian to a Texan. The audience applauds and laughs at each new impression. But in the middle of the show, something unexpected happens. A girl from the audience, invited to ask a question, approaches the microphone and says to me with a smile, "How are you?" I'm petrified. My smile fades, and an awkward silence fills the studio. I have no idea how to respond. Despite my talent for accents, I don't speak English at all. The situation goes viral. Headlines read, "The accent imitator who didn't know English." Far from being discouraged, I take this as a sign to improve. I start using Georgiana's English courses, and over time, I perfect my accent and learn the language. Months later, I come back to the show, and the girl asks me again, "How are you?" I reply this time with a confident smile and fluent English. "I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking. How are you?" Great! I like these kind of stories because they're easy to remember and help a lot with learning English. Humor also makes learning more enjoyable. You can find this method in my premium courses. Take a look at speakenglishpodcast.com/courses to get my premium courses. They are designed for learning by listening. Also, if you want to help me, share the podcast with your friends and family. That would mean a lot. Thanks. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Did you enjoy today's episode? Get the transcript now at speakenglishpodcast.com.